Peace world, I'm back with another live episode of Final Say. I'm your host, the enlightened one, highly gifted, Dr. Wright. So I'm gonna give some people some time to get in and check in. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna speak about the country, you guys. I'm gonna get into how things are going in the nation, in the country. How America is slowly but surely depleting and dying. Our resources. The way we was accustomed to living, just how things was in the country, not only in the country, but like I said, with us, the way things are going with our families, the way things are going financially, the way things are going with food, crops, resources, and so on and so forth. Like I said, I'm going to give some people some time to check in. As I always do, thank you to everybody who support what I do, who support my movement, who support my platform, who comment, who like, who share. And I also want to say this, my platform, it bores people, or some people may feel or see it as if I don't bring enough information or I don't do enough homework. I mean, it's nothing for you to unsubscribe from my platform if what I do is not entertaining enough for you, or like I said, I don't bring enough information or enough education. I mean, it's not going to bother me if anybody unsubscribe, and I appreciate those who are willing to subscribe, and those who may not be willing to subscribe and just want to support my platform. I'm thankful for that as well. But I just wanted to put that out there. So if anybody feels as if or see it as if they don't want to support my movement or support what I do. It's something called unsubscribe, and it's something called don't recommend this channel or not interested. And any of those things work, for me, so it can work for you, because I don't want somebody to support me or support my platform and they see it as if, or they believe as if I don't do enough homework or my channel bores them, or I think I know more than everybody else, or I think I'm more intelligent, so on and so forth. Carla, my sister, what's going on? How are you doing? How's everything going with you? How you feeling? Um, bless you. I hope everything is all right with you. I know you were scheduled to have surgery soon. I don't know if you had it. I don't know if you're still going to have it. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. I've been thinking about you. I appreciate all your support. You know what I mean? And what I was saying before, you was nice enough to check in and tune in. What I was saying was, if anybody out there, and people know how I am. I don't point fingers. I don't speak about people. But if anybody out there feel as if my platform is not for them, it's not an issue if they want to unsubscribe, if they feel like my platform bores them, or I don't do enough information, or I don't bring enough information, excuse me, or I don't do enough education. It's nothing if they unsubscribe and they can hit do not recommend or not interested. I won't take that personal. I mean, it's their prerogative, it's their device, it's their tablet, smartphone, iPhone, iPad, laptop, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? But for those who do feel like, I do bring entertainment or I do bring education, I appreciate everybody. And for those who just want to support my platform and they not subscribe, I appreciate those people as well. But I just wanted to put that out there. I don't want anybody to feel as if they're hostage. You know what I mean? I'm hanging in there, didn't have surgery yet. Okay. Did you get my email? I'm sure. No, I didn't. No, I've been so wrapped up in like just getting things together. I haven't been able to check my emails. I had to update my laptop, so I've been like behind because I've been just trying to get things in my personal life together. And like I always say when I'm on my platform, Carla, in life, not only on the internet, but I detox in life. Like I give everything a break. I give my body a rest. That's okay. Yeah, I'm okay, but I'm definitely gonna check my email, and I will respond back to you but I haven't been checking anything. I've just been psychologically and mentally decompressing, like just letting my mind rest, letting my body rest, letting my legs, my arms, my eyes, my ears, letting everything rest. You know what I mean? And I just been just been praying and giving thanks, and I've been praying for everything and everybody like I always do, but I like to decompress at times, because I understand the type of platform that I have, Carla. I can be, I could be draining, like, because like I always say, and I acknowledge, everybody don't want to hear positivity, everybody don't want to hear productivity, and I don't want to bring unnecessary, unwarranted energy anybody's way. And I'm just a firm believer in, I would love for everybody to deal with me the best way that's possible for them. So I don't want nobody to check in and now I'm talking about something and I believe what I'm talking about, maybe they may be interested in, or maybe they would have a positive or product, a positive or productive response to it. And now I end up, rubbing somebody's shoulder the wrong way. Like anybody who really knows me know that's not my intention. So, I just, always want to keep the love there, always want to keep the respect there. And also, I want to keep that positive, productive conversation there. You know what I mean? And let everybody know that I'm here to bring good energy, to bring good vibes, good spirits. And I don't have no ill intention towards anything or anybody. And that's why on my platform I don't mind apologizing to anything or anybody, because again, I'm not perfect. I'm gonna make mistakes. And with me making mistakes is just me bettering myself in life and bettering my platform. So I just wanted to put that out there though before you checked in. So before I get into what I'm gonna get into, I always give it to the 15-minute mark. I get some people time to check in and chime in and let me know if they out there, or if they just watching, I let them do that. But what's going on with you though, Carla? How you feeling? How's everything with you spiritually, psychologically? How you doing physically? I just pray that everything is good with you. You're in good spirits, and your vibrations are high. You know what I mean? And as I always say, I'm thankful for you. Um, I've been waiting for Sherry to tap in. I gave her a wrench. You know what I mean? I need her perspective. I need her to tap in. You know what I mean? You already met Sherry. You was talking to her in the chat before, so I gave her a wrench. I made her a moderator. You know what I mean? I can't see some. I can't see. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not saying anyone came at me negatively. What I'm saying is that I understand that when you on the internet, it can happen. Like, remember before, Carla, we was talking about how sometimes, like in the era you grew up in, also the era I grew up in, even though my era is a little bit after yours, like we was able to speak freely and it wasn't so offensive. Nowadays you can say something and your intention is not to offend somebody, but somebody takes what you said as offensive or they take it personal and now they offended and that wasn't your intention. You know what I mean? It's like when I came up, somebody could tell me about me and I'm not offended. Like I wouldn't want to curse at the person. I wouldn't want to curse them out. I wouldn't be offended to the point where now I don't want to acknowledge them. I don't want to speak. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I mean by you could say something and it's not intended at a particular person, but they may take it as you coming at them, and that's not my intention on my platform. That's not my intention in life, let alone on my platform. But like I tell everybody, even though I'm on the internet and I speak this way, I'm speaking this way in real life on my computer, on my phone, or whatever's not on. I have clients that I'm building up, that I'm working on, helping out mentally, spiritually, psychologically. You know what I mean? And since I'm doing that, I have to work on that not only in real life, I have to bring that to the internet as well. So when I'm on the internet, this is not a facade of who I'm pretending to be. Like I said, I'm working on becoming a psychological and a spiritual healing doctor. You know what I mean? Evening, Miss Queen. I appreciate you. Thanks for tapping in. I'm working on being a psychological, a spiritual, and a healing doctor. So that takes a lot of tolerance. That takes patience because the more I'm building up my clients that have nothing to do with the internet, like they say things that don't bother me. They do things that don't bother me. I gotta have patience. When you building something in life, you have to have patience. You have to have tolerance. You have to be able to be stern to deal with things. Like I gotta deal with people having their own perspective. But also with people having their own perspective, I have to set a different precedent to let them know, okay, ain't nothing wrong with your perspective. Ain't nothing wrong with, how you see certain things, but this is facts, this is opinion, and this is how you see things, or this is how you feel. And that's why when I speak, I always let people know, well, from my perspective. But when something is facts, I put that in front of it, not to fact check nobody or not for me to be fact checked. So I could set a different precedent and I could draw that line in the sand. So now that it's understood through and through that this is not my intention to rub somebody's shoulder the wrong way. This is my intention to get the right information out there. Because, like I always say, with the right information, now we can grow as a community, as a people, as a nation. We don't grow as a nation because something somebody says, it easily affects somebody. That's why I don't let what people say affect me. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I work on that a lot, you know what I mean? And I'm learning the more that I become more and more desensitized to things, it won't bother me. Like things won't make me so sensitive that somebody can't tell me something about me. And definitely when it applies, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna take it in and say, you know what, I need to reevaluate, you know, this thing that I was doing in my life, or this thing that I thought that was totally true, or it applies to everybody, or it applies to mankind, or it applies to civilization, or it applies to any walk of life. I'm gonna reevaluate my steps instead of just attacking it or attacking somebody. When I say it could be the situation or the circumstance, because every time somebody says something, it's not that they're attacking me. They could be attacking something that I said, and that could just be a situation. So it's not literally them or it's not literally me. So, for instance, I've been a vegan for so many years. I read majority of everything that I eat and I consume. So now, just because I may say I don't eat certain things because I have coloring dye, that don't mean that I'm attacking the manufacturer of that food. That don't mean that I'm attacking Hostess, or that don't mean that I'm attacking Lay's, or that don't mean that I'm attacking Pepsi. It just means I could be looking into the ingredients. So now if somebody drink a lot of soda, they may say, well, you talking about me because I drink soda, or you attacking Pepsi. Good evening, Catrice. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning into the live stream. And that wouldn't be true at all. So so I'm learning how to speak about things and it don't come across that way because, like I said, when I came up, people could tell me about me. Like I could be doing something. For example, okay, I could be gambling, I could be shooting dice, and somebody could say, you know what, I'm gonna go back and tell your mother. Instead of me personalizing, they going back telling my moms, I would think about it. Well, they only doing that because they got love for me. But nowadays, when you say certain things, you get attacked so quickly and so easily, and people don't think about, well, maybe he said that, or maybe she said that, or maybe they saying that because they love me, or they got respect for me, or they don't want to see me hurt, or they don't want to see me, in a bad predicament or a bad situation or a bad spot. But a lot of times we play defense a lot of times. So before I get offended pertaining to something that's said to me, what I do is now I try to do homework on what's being said to me. So if somebody say, yo, you was kind of aggressive the way you talked to me last time, if I remember what I said, I'm gonna try to go back and remember what I said and say, you know what, I apologize. I didn't mean to come out. I was just compassionate about what we was talking about. So it's like when I used to watch sports and I was arguing with my friend or with my cousin or with anybody, it was like the conversation was so compassionate or it was so important to me that we might have gotten a little bit louder. We might have been shouting or yelling at each other. But that don't mean I don't love my cousin. That don't mean that, I can't get along with my cousin. That don't mean that my cousin don't know what he's talking about. And that don't mean I don't know what I'm talking about, or my brother, mother, or whoever. It's just sometimes when something is important to you, you're going to voice compassion. So I'm learning that just because somebody else may be an outsider looking in at a conversation that I'm having with Jane Doe or John Doe, they may think me and that person arguing. No, they just compassionate like me. And I appreciate when people show me their compassion. That showed me something I'm saying to them is important, because if they're going to give me that same energy back and that compassion back, I need that. Now that show, okay, they involved in what I'm saying. And I appreciate that. Instead of me attacking and saying, you know what, man, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. Yo, you don't know me. Nah, they just got compassion for what I'm saying. And I'm thankful for that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by when I say I do a lot of studying and I do a lot of homework to find out ways to defuse situations, because it's easy when something is on fire for me to throw another piece of paper or to throw a brick. HBIC, I appreciate you. What's going on, Room Shaker? Welcome to the live stream. It's easy for me to throw a piece of paper or another piece of wood on that fire to keep that fire going. But now it's hard for me to put that fire out when I don't got the necessary tools, if I don't got water, if I don't got the necessary fire gear on to walk in that fire and deal with it. So I'm learning how to walk into the fire to put it out. Whether I get along with the parties that's involved, that's not my concern. My concern is to try to defuse the situation, because if we could get along, we could stay strong. You know what I mean? So now how things work is people say they strong, and they bring a lot of that testosterone to a situation, and they might be overjudging something or misjudging something or pre-assuming something. So now I'm learning, if I take the correct approach to it, I won't do either. And now if somebody want to let me know something that's not true or not correct, I could just sit back and say, you know what, I'm listening, go ahead. And I'm gonna listen to what they got to say. It doesn't even matter what the circumstances or the situation may be. I'm just gonna listen. So just because I have a YouTube channel or YouTube platform, I'm not better than anybody that can't tell me anything. If anything, I look at it like I'm thankful they willing to tell me something about me. From my perspective, they got love for me. Good morning. I appreciate you, Peanut T or Peanut IT. But thanks and welcome to the live stream, friend. We appreciate you. Thanks for checking in. So that's more or less of like my process, Carla. That's more or less my process, Catrice. You know what I mean? Nice to meet you too, buddy. So at the end of the day, I look at it like that, and I try to take that approach. So let me get into what I put in the caption: America's dying. America's dying, and I put that because at the end of the day, how we come to know America as is. And a lot of people may say, well, America been dying or America been dead, so on and so forth. Major love shout out Mono TV. Major love shout out. So at the end of the day, a lot of people may see it as America has already died or America been dead, or how is America dying, because some people aren't seeing the effects of it. So the first thing is that everything now is taken out of proportion and out of control. When somebody don't like something that somebody says or does, they is either one out of three things they want to do. They want to silence them, they want to cancel them, or or if they don't want to silence them or cancel them, they're not liked or they hate it. And that's on a large scale now. That's on the internet, that's via media, that's family, that's friends, that's loved ones, that's co-workers, so on and so forth. And the reason why it's going to continuously be like that, and it's going to spiral out of control, because we make excuses for who we like and what we like. That's why I made a video about that already. Like, just because somebody like me, I don't want somebody to null and void something I could say or do that's incorrect. I want somebody to let me know, yo, even though you cool, or even though I like you, or even though I like your platform, yo, that what you said, that was wrong. It's not about if you dislike it and it's right. Now that but if it's not right and it can be proven that, and it's not like proving it to show me up, or to make them feel right, to make me feel wrong. No, it could be something that I could say that doesn't apply in a situation. Somebody could say, yo, you said that about the earth and that don't apply. I'm going to I appreciate that. Thanks a million. So somebody could say, yo, you was talking about plants, for example, and that might not apply to something that I said, or I could be talking about the ocean, and that might not apply, or I could be speaking about, something in reference to the earth, whatever that is, and somebody could say, "Yo, that wasn't accurate," and it's like, okay, all right, I get it, you know what I mean? And now I take some step back before I take a step forward. You know what I mean? That's why I'm a firm believer in not cursing at people and not dropping in bombs, because I want everybody to feel welcome. Now, the more people I could get to feel welcome, now I'm building up that positive community that I'm talking about. Because people, when they feel uncomfortable, they get frightened. And when people get frightened, now they do things out of fear. You know what I mean? And I need people to do things out of respect. You know what I mean? Because it's easy when you follow and you just want to fit in. See, when you're a leader, you got to stand out. And I know in life I'm a leader, so I'm going to always stand out. Like, even if people love my platform or they hate my platform, I'm paying attention. I'm consistent though. So what that means is that I'm going to always bring positive energy. I'm going to always bring a different level of intelligence, a different level of knowledge. I'm not saying that I'm smarter than other people. I'm not saying that I have more intellect than other people. But what I'm saying is, when I say a different level, is I'm going to speak about something. Somebody going to be like, interesting. I didn't look at it like that. You know what I mean? And that's my point of what I'm doing at the end of the day. Like, I'm looking to bring a different level of intelligence. I'm looking to balance out things that's uneven. So if it's a lot of things out there that might not seem intelligent to people, I want to bring more balance. And if it's things out there that do seem like it has a lot of knowledge and a lot of integrity and a lot of honor, I'm gonna balance it out by bringing more definition to it, by bringing more meaning to it, by bringing more structure to it, by bringing more stability to it. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, when I came up, it was an old saying: "It take a village to raise a child." I believe that, because you can have your mother and your father, but that's why you have aunts. That's why you have uncles, because your aunts and your uncles gonna bring a different level of stability there that maybe your moms couldn't do, or your father couldn't do. But that don't mean that your uncle or your aunt love you more than your mother and your father. But nowadays it's perceived that way. If somebody does something for you that somebody else ain't doing, that don't mean they love you more or less. That's just the role they playing in your life. That's the energy that they bringing to your life. You know what I mean? But nowadays it's looked at like that. It's looked at like, well, if your father do more, he love you more than your moms, or your moms do more, she love you more. No, it's like, your father could do what he could do, your mother could do what she could do, your grandmother could do, your grandfather could do what he could do, your uncle. So, like, I had uncles that type relationships with, but that don't mean that them uncles love me more than my father. I had relationships with aunts. That don't mean that they love me more than my moms. That don't mean that. That just mean that I had a great relationship with that particular aunt or with that particular uncle. You know what I mean? But I know to keep the respect there, to keep that respect in place. Like, that's still my aunt. That's still my uncle. That's still my grandma. That's still, you know what I mean? But that don't mean that because Aunt so and so willing to take me to the store, or willing to take me to Great Adventure, or willing to take me on vacations, that and my mom's is unable to take me on vacations. That don't mean that my aunt love me more than my mom's, or my aunt love me less than my mom's love me less than my aunt, or vice versa. Nah, it just mean that at that time in my life, aunt was able to take me places and do certain things that my mom's was unable to do. That's all. That's all. That don't mean anything but that. But if I look at it like, well, you know what, man, my mom's never take me nowhere, man. And my aunt love me way more than my mom's. Now, or my aunt do way more than my, nah, or my uncle do way more than my father. Nah, I'm thankful for what my father is able to do. I'm thankful for what my mother was able to do, but I'm not gonna look at it any other way but that. Like, I'm not gonna look at it any other way but that, because I get it at the end of the day. I understand that. But nowadays, when you're not looking at it and that ramification, you start to drift into, you know, that you beat yourself up, and now you want to say, well, this person gotta love me because they always buy me things, or this person gotta love me because they always taking me somewhere. Excuse me, or this person this and that. No, it's like, we all have family for a reason, and family members are meant to play a particular role in your life. You don't understand that, you don't learn that until you start to mature in life, you start to get older. So now that the country is going through what it's going through, We need each other more than we thought we did. So even if like you might not want to really get along with your neighbor, that's not a problem. But this is not the time to hate your neighbor or for your neighbor to hate you back, because you never know, one day like you might need water and it's not water to drink. You might need to take a shower. You might like, you know what, I got to reach out to my neighbor. Yo, I need to use your bathroom. You know what I mean? Like we don't know because we limit ourselves. You know what I mean? That's why psychologically I always keep my mind open. That's why I tell people, you hear with your ear, you listen with your brain. See, I listen to everything. Anytime anything is said to me, I listen, because I easily can hear something. That's why people be like, "You hear what I said?" I'd be like, "Nah, I'm listening." You know what I mean? So when I pay attention to the news, I be listening to what the newscasters say. I listen to what people say that do things on social media, and it's not that I'm listening for an error or I'm listening to say, "Look, they don't know what they talk." I'm listening because I'm paying attention with my brain, with my third eye. That's what I have a brain for, to pay attention with my third eye. You know what I mean? And where the country is going, a lot of people are not paying attention. So the media could say something about the president, and they could say something about a congressperson. That don't mean that it's true or false. Like I always say, I do homework on it. So I'm not gonna just so my moms could say, yo, don't listen to the president. That don't mean I'm not gonna listen to the president, or I am, or I'm not gonna listen to my moms, or I am. I'm gonna do research on it. I'm gonna look into how come my mom's told me that. That's the reason she told me that. Or my father may say, yo, don't listen to the congressman. It's the reason he said that. I'm gonna look into it before I say, yo, dad, you're right. I ain't gonna just listen to the mayor. I ain't gonna listen to such and such. I'm gonna do homework on that. And it don't mean that my father told me that because my father's a good person or a bad person. From what he understand, it may not be in my best interest if I listen to a political figure, or I listen to the pastor or the deacon or the reverend, and so on and so forth. So why I just can't go do my own homework on it so I can find out for myself? Ain't nothing like understanding and finding something out for yourself. Like, when we went to school, they gave us homework to see was we paying attention, not to see if we actually knew the work, because you get tested on the work when you was in class or when you was in school, but you get homework to see if you studying what they're giving you. That's why they give it to you and say you take it home. That's why it's called homework. So you take it back. Now you bring that same homework back to school, you get a grade on it. And now they grade you based off your knowledge, based off what you remember, what you were studying while you was on your own. And yes, our parents or older people may have helped us with homework, but it still came from what we paid attention to, what we studied. So that's why I'm a firm believer in studying, so I can get the necessary information. So now, well, what's going on with the country? A lot of people are just feeding into what the media says or what politicians say instead of doing studying and doing homework. And now, me doing research on it, I could really put in my caption, "America's dying," because the dollar will be collapsing soon. Food and resources and crops as we know it will be diminishing soon, because it's people out there like Bill Gates. He's controlling majority of the harvest and the farms. You know what I mean? And that's important to know, because even though I'm a vegan, I cannot say that the vegetables I'm eating is growing with the correct fertilizer. I, I would be assuming that. So how can I chastise or criticize somebody that's eating steak or somebody that's eating chicken or turkey or whatever they eating? The same way they got to be cautious about whatever they digest and whatever they consume. I got to do the same thing. Just because I'm a vegan or vegetarian, it don't mean everything I'm eating is way more healthy than the person that ain't a vegetarian or vegan. It's things like that. So if I do homework and resources, and I mean, if I do homework and research on everything, I can find out about what I eat and what I shouldn't eat. Same thing with people who don't eat what I eat. So I'm not gonna tell somebody, well, chicken is bad for you, turkey is bad for you. That don't mean that corn is healthy, cabbage is healthy, cauliflower. That don't mean that. That don't mean that kale, cauliflower. That don't mean that that's healthy. No, I got to do the homework and research because I don't know where it's growing from, what type of fertilizer they putting, so on and so forth. I can't guarantee that whatever foods that I eat, that it's 100% pure, it's 100% natural, it's 100% organic. Nah, I would be assuming that. And even if I'm doing homework, I got to still research the research. You know what I mean? It's like just because if I have a lawyer, that don't mean that I don't need another lawyer to look into the lawyer that I have. Like I just can't be like, I got a lawyer, I'm good. Or if I got a certain doctor, like if I got a physician that only checked me physically, that don't mean that I can't go and get another physician to check me. It's like what athletes do. It's like if they got to get a procedure done on a body part, on the knee or ankle, get they'll go get a second opinion. They'll go to another doctor and say, "Yo, do I need surgery, or I could naturally heal, or I could just let it rest?" They ain't gonna just listen to that first doctor and say, "Yo, you know what? You got a torn meniscus, or you got a torn patella, or you got a bad ankle." Or they gonna go get another opinion, and that's what I do in life. Like I'm not gonna just take what somebody's saying, like that's it. Like, okay, the news said, this politician is corrupt. The news said, take this. I feel, or the doctor said, I'm gonna do all the research that I can. That's important. And that's what God gave me a brain for, to do homework and research, to study. And I got to learn when to study and how to study. I just can't study every day. I'm going to overload myself. I'm going to overload my brain. So if I give myself time to sit back and relax and let my eyes rest, let my ears rest, let my feet rest, let my fingers rest, let my legs rest, let my heart rest, let my lungs rest, let my kidneys rest. That's important. It give my body time to sit back and relax. And now, when I do, take whatever I need for as medication, whether that's black seed oil, whether that's whatever it's going to be to keep myself healthy, my body now could know, okay, it get to readjust. I say, you know what? I'm going to stop drinking soda now if I give my body enough time to not drink soda. And then when I say, you know what? I'm going to go back and drink some more soda, my body going to say, I don't want that. You know what I mean? That's with anything in life. It's not just with food, or it's not just with things that we drink. It's with books. It's with TV. It's with social media. It's with sports. It's with clothes. It's with jewelry. It's with cars. Like, it's with all facets of life. But a lot of times people like to limit themselves to whatever float their boat. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. It's a lot of things that float my boat, but that don't mean all the time that I got to row the boat, or all the time I got to be the captain, or all the time I even got to get on the boat. I could say, you know what, yo, y'all get this, say, yo, peace and blessings, y'all. I pray y'all get this, say, I'm going to sit this one out. You know what I mean? Like, I had to learn that as well. Like, everything ain't for everybody. So, and me doing homework and studying about, like, looking at how America is digressing and not being as strong as a nation as it used to be, you know, people got to understand this too. Like, I could do anything. I can't do everything. And some people believe that. Like, some people believe they can do everything. I know I can't. I can do anything. As long as I set my mind to it and I got God with me, I could do anything, but I can't do everything. I can't cook. I can't clean up. I can't be there for the kids. I can't help them with their homework. I can't then run a Fortune 500 company. I could do, I got to say it slow. I could do anything. I can't do everything. I could do anything. I can't do everything. And a lot of times we believe that. Yo, you know what, man? I could do everything. You can't. That's impossible. Nobody could do everything, but we all could do anything. So if we set our mind to what that anything may be, you know what? We could perfect those anything. So if somebody say, you know what, I'm gonna write a book, they could really write that book as long as they stay focused on what the details come with writing that book, they could get it done. But if they trying to write a book and then they trying to do other things, it's gonna distract them. I'm staying focused on writing that book. And I'm learning that. So right now, how things are going with America, the politicians are trying to do everything and not, I mean, yeah, they trying to do everything and not anything. Like, you can't do everything. Like, you can't still try to be there with your family and for your family, and then you trying to sign on for certain laws or certain bills. Like, that ain't gonna work. Like, you gotta pick, you gotta say, you know what, I'm gonna give more of my time to being a politician. You know what I mean? And now I can't be that devoted husband or that devoted father. Like, for areas that you're strong in, you're gonna be weak in certain other areas. Like, that's not me picking on nobody, calling nobody out. That's just life. You know what I mean? It's like somebody that don't have all their senses. People that can't see, they could hear way better than people that can see and hear. Or for people that can't hear, they can see way better than people that can see and hear. That's just life. That's how it works. So for areas that you're strong in, you're gonna be weak in other areas. It's like if you right-handed, your left hand ain't that strong, or the left side of your body ain't that strong as your right side. Vice versa. If you left-handed, then your right side ain't that strong. If you ambidextrous, then you got equal balance in your equilibrium in your body. That's all. But again, when you studying and you doing homework and research on yourself, you get that, you understand that. But when you just sit back and you allow people to dictate to you, or you allow what the media say to affect you, or you believe everything the media say, like at the end of the day, a lot of those politicians that putting things in place, and they setting rules and they setting regulations and all, none of their kids go fight in wars. So it's easy for them to draft somebody else's son or somebody else's daughter, but their kids ain't going to fight in the wars. Their kids ain't going to do what they do in other countries, because they get it, because that's why they into being a politician and they into politics. You know what I mean? It's easy for me to give somebody else rules that I won't take for myself. So that's why I'm a firm believer. I don't give advice that I won't take for myself. And that's where we at in this country. This country is quick to give advice that they won't take for themselves. Like, it's easy for a man to say, well, crime is high, but they don't live in the crime-ridden areas. And they're not going to live in those crime-ridden areas, or they're not going to put the people in impoverished or poor communities in better circumstances or situation. But they're quick to give them advice that they won't take. Vice versa, it's people that got money, they ain't gonna tell you the keys to their success. They ain't gonna give you the blueprint of how they made their money. They gonna say, well, you need to do this to make more money, but they ain't gonna give you the blueprint of how to make more. They ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna say, well, this is how you make more money, unless they like hit the lotto or something like that. That's different. But they ain't gonna give you the blueprint of what they do so you could be as successful as them. You know what I mean? That's in the 48 powers of law. Like if you read that book, you know what I mean, or 48 laws of power, so to speak, in that book. So that book tells you a lot of things about how successful people operate, definitely in this country. And when you start breaking it down, when you start looking at it, that's why I put what I put in the caption about America's dying, because that sense of how it used to be, like worrying about the next person being in a better predicament or a better situation. Now it's every man and woman for themselves, and I'm not mad at that. But when you look at it, that's why the country is dying. That's why America is not like the top nation no more, because it's every man and woman for themselves. And now that it's like every man and woman for themselves, we're leaving the next generation to 10 and fend for themselves. And now that they got to 10 and fend for themselves, like, kids feeling like at 14, 15, 16 years old, they got to be the woman or the man of the house nowadays. And that's no good, because now you got kids leading kids. Like, at least it was a point where, yes, parents may have been 20, 21, 19, but now, what's going on now, kids are becoming parents at 15, 16. So now, by the time they get 34, 35, their kids kind of grew up with them. So now their kids growing up with them, it's like, wow. So now they didn't really get to live out, their teenage years. So when they start to get 27, 28, their kid grew up with them. And now they kind of want those years back, and they can't get those years back. So now that they can't get those years back, they feel like, man, I put all my time into raising my son or raising my daughter. I ain't even really have time to travel. I ain't really have time to enjoy life. So now they want to enjoy life. Now that the kid done got 13, 14, and that kid like, man, you know what, man, my pops ain't been around, or my mom's this, so I got to go here. I got to work. I got to do this. I got to help my grandmas with the bills, or I got to help my uncle out, or I got to help my grandfather. So now they feel the pressure of having to be an adult, and they ain't ready to be adult mentally, spiritually, psychologically, on no levels. They ain't ready to take the responsibility of a 28-year-old or a 30-year-old, but they kind of thrust it into that, in the direction that the country going right now. You know what I mean? Because everybody is all for themselves. Nobody is considering nobody else until the situation affects them. Until it's like, okay, I ain't worried about that. They starving, I got food. They ain't got no clothes, I'm good. They ain't got no way to get to work, that's on them. And it's not that I'm saying everybody needs to worry about everybody. However, when you be a little bit more considerate now, the consideration start to spread out. It's like gossiping. Everybody gossips, so it's easy for other people to do it. It's like gang banging. You know, if you see everybody else doing it, you feel left out. It's like I could do it too. If my friends up the block doing it, why I can't do it? You know what I mean? But until you develop the knowledge to understand that you got to be your own person and become a better version of your own person, things start to work out. And that's where we at right now in this country. Everybody's for themselves. I recall the time that the politicians wasn't like stars. The politicians are like stars now. They all on TV. You know what I mean? They be doing things that entertainers or athletes be doing. They be on shows like athletes. They be on shows like actors and actresses. They be talking about the mayors be doing that. The governors be doing that. You know what I mean? Politicians be doing things that entertainers be doing, celebrities be doing. They ain't just a politician no more. And that's what I mean by they not focused on what their position is. They only have that position for the authority. They don't have the position to keep things balanced out, to keep things level. They just like, I'm a mayor. I got dictatorship over 500,000 people, hypothetically speaking. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a councilman or I'm a councilwoman. Okay, I got this many people that I know for a fact gotta listen to me. They not doing it to better things. They're not doing it to better education. They're not doing things to better nutrition. They're not doing things to better information. It's like every time I look up, something gets stopped, something get canceled, or something get changed. It's like they're changing things that was put in books. And I'm not saying there's something wrong or right with it, but how long we gonna go through life? Like, okay, that's offensive to somebody. Somebody is gonna always be offended by something that somebody says or does. Like that's not a personal thing. That's just life. Somebody somewhere every day says something that somebody take offensive. Now, if you do more homework and research on it, you might not be that offended. Like people say things to me, and it's like, well, I'm not offended by that. Like I had to say this to somebody one day. You might think I'm foolish enough to take what you said as an insult. You know what? I ain't even insulted. Have a good day. And when I seen them after that, they was like, you know what, man, yo, I respect what you told me last time, man. You said what I said to you wasn't even offended. Cause I'm like, nah, like I did enough homework and research to know that I could I could belittle me. How am I gonna let somebody else belittle me? And that's another thing, like we all say in walks of life, whether that's with our job, whether that's with our family, whether that's with our spouses, whether you married or not, like, yo, I'm strong. So we be so strong, but we let the little things get the best of us. We let the little things get up under our skin. It's like I know I'm strong, and I'm thanks to God that I'm strong. So how can things that people say to me, let alone about me, affect me or get up under my skin? Like it shouldn't even matter. It's like that's how you see me, no problem. Have a good day. But I'm not gonna give you that energy back. So now all we doing is going back and forth with each other all day. That ain't getting them nowhere. They ain't getting me nowhere. I know it ain't making them no money. I know it ain't putting no food in their refrigerator. It ain't putting no clothes on their back. And if it's kids involved, it ain't helping their kids, so on and so forth. So what am I doing at the end of the day? Like, what am I really doing? Like, I'm just feeding it to see how far it's going to go. I don't want to do that. Like, I ain't here to do that. Like, I'm not here to keep feeding. And then it's like, okay, when it gets bad or when it go bad, how did it get this far? Because somebody got to know, leave it alone. Somebody got to know, man, I'm going to ignore that, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, it take two people to do things. It take two people to argue. You know what I mean? It take two people to coexist in a marriage or relationship and so on and so forth. So if you don't want to be bothered, just ignore it. Go the other way. That don't make you less than a man or less than a woman. But a lot of times we see it like that. It's like, ego get us caught up in a lot of things. And that's why this country is starting to plummet, because the people who's in control, they letting their ego supersede what they need to do. So the people that have the authority and that have the power, their ego is telling them, well, you know what? Even though this person said I can't do this, I'm gonna show them that since I'm the mayor, I could do this. Or since I'm, the council person, I could do this. Since I'm the borough president, I could do this. Since I'm the sheriff, I could do this. Since I'm this, I could. And that ego, it ain't getting us nowhere. It's just getting us worse off than we was maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago. And I'm not saying things should be how it was 30, 40, 50, or 100 years ago. No. What I'm saying is when you let your ego get in front of things, now you're superseding how things should really turn out. And now we're not setting examples for the people coming after us. So we can't tell the next generation what to listen to or how to listen, and we allow ego or we allow pride to get in the way of how we need to conduct ourselves. You know what I mean? And this is, like I said, this is why the country is starting to plummet. And this is why the country is taking a back seat to other nations now, because we let ego and pride get in the front of things at the end of the day. You know, when we have a discrepancy with a person, we don't want to talk to the person. We want to talk about it. Or we want to go to social media and speak about the person. We want to talk about them, their kids, their family, the way they dress, where they live, how they eat, and so on and so forth. It's like, so like that might be their circumstances. Some people might not could afford what you could afford. You know what I mean? Vice versa. Some people may could afford things you can't afford, but that don't mean that you less than them. Nah, we all going through something in life because we're being tested by God. And once God see where your heart at, nothing else matters no more at the end of the day. We all being tested by God every single day. And it's not a test like we could pass or fail. It's a test to see if we're going to prevail. I'm going to say that one more time. It's not a test to see if we're going to pass or fail. It's a test to see if we're going to prevail. You know what I mean? As a nation or as a country. You know what I mean? Whether that's America, whether that's China, whether that's Brazil, whether that's Africa, whether that's New Zealand, whatever part of the world you in, Russia, wherever you at, that don't even matter no more. What matters is, are we going to prevail? We have to stick together to make it work for everybody. That's why America and other countries are starting to plummet, because ain't nobody working. That's why it's riots all over the world, everywhere. That's why people are now rebelling against everything, because they like, okay, because you got the authority to say this and do that, I don't gotta listen to you. Just because somebody made you such and such, that don't make you right. You know what I mean? I don't have to listen to that. And once people understand that you giving, like me, I have my platform. My platform don't make me wrong or right. However, if I could bring the correct information, and when people start to do the research on it and the homework on it, be like, you know what? Damn, he had a point about that. I'm glad I looked into it. You know what I mean? But if I just allow what's not happening to get the best of me, it's like, man, you know what, man, I got my platform, man. I ain't gonna never get my page monetized. I ain't gonna never get X amount of subscribers. That's gonna discourage me from not doing the homework I need to do, from not doing the research I need to do. I'm doing this in real life. So how can something like the internet or social media distract me? I gotta do this in real life. It just so happened that I bring what I do to the internet. That's it. But if nobody on the internet ain't feeling it, I can't. How am I not? I can't knock nobody. It's everybody, to each his own. But even though we on our own, we gotta learn how to get in the zone and stay in the zone, whatever that may be. So if you working on, like, you know what, I'm gonna lose weight, don't let nothing distract you from that. Your job, your kids, your husband, your wife, your moms, your father, your sister, your brother, your friends, nothing. Like, you gotta learn how to stay going straight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't pay attention to the sideline. It's gonna be there. That's why it's called the side and the line. I just want to go in that straight line. Things are put there to distract us. And I get that. So that's why I'm not easily distracted by things, because I understand that at the end of the day. And the easily I get distracted, I ain't gonna never be able to stay focused on nothing, because things always distract me. Something always is able to, I'm gonna look right, or I'm gonna look left. Man, I gotta go straight, because the more I pay attention to the sideline, I gotta slow down to do that, because now I gotta look around. I ain't looking around, I'm going straight. And right now, that's what's going on with America. America's paying attention to the sideline when we was just focused on going straight, because they was trying to keep building America up to make it a great country and a better place for people to come to seek refuge to live, you know what I mean, and to do better, you know what I mean. And I understand that on the whole we had problems, far as people felt that was living in the country. People felt like it was a lot of bias. It was a lot of things going on, like, things wasn't going the way it should have went with certain cultures. I get that, with certain nationalities. I can't run from that, but still we kept it right for the people that was in the country. Like, now we're just allowing everything to get out of hand, in every city, every state. You know what I mean? If you look at certain cities and certain states, is just bad. Like everything is just bad. Like the poverty rate. It's one thing to be broke and it's another thing to be poor. It's like now everybody's starting to be poor. Like being broke and poor is two different things. You could be broke, but that don't mean that you're poor. Poor is like you don't have nothing. Like you can't even get assistance from the government when you poor. When you broke, it's like okay, at least you get some type of government assistance, whether that's Medicaid, whether that's housing, whether that's food stamps, whatever that might be. But when you poor, you can't even get that. So now that's where America's getting back to. Everything is getting poor. It ain't nothing going on for nobody. People ain't qualified for nothing no more. You know what I mean? Like education is getting low. Like a lot of the kids that's going to school, they not reading at the level they should be reading. They're not articulating at the level they should be articulating. They not doing the necessary studies they need to do at the rate that it used to be maybe 20, 30 years ago. And that becomes important because they're the ones that's going to be next in line to run the world. They're the ones that's going to be next in line to be the doctors, to be the lawyers, to be the police officers, to be the judges, and so on and so forth. And if people may say, well, we don't need cops, or we don't need judges, or we don't need doctors, or we don't need lawyers, no problems. Well, okay, so they're going to be the next ones to drive the trains. They're going to be the next ones to drive the buses. They're going to be the next fathers. They're going to be the next aunts. They're going to be the next uncles. So even if it's like, okay, it ain't even with the job front or the career front, it's like they're going to be the next in line to do the things that the people that's already in line are doing. And if they don't have no inspiration and no motivation to do it, what they going off? They ain't got nothing to go off. Ain't no more motivation out there. And that's what we lacking. So that's why I said, when you be a leader, you're going to always stand out. When you following, you just want to fit in. You know what I mean? I never wanted to follow. I never wanted to fit in. I always want to stand out. Why I always want to stand out? Because it's not easy to be a leader. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to be a leader. Not everybody was built to be a leader. Not everybody was built to take charge in certain circumstances and certain situations. And America has now become following. They following other nations. They following other countries. America used to be the ones in the front. America used to be the ones in the lead, setting the precedent for certain things. Now America is lagging with that. America is behind with that. Like we was always in the front with everything. At one point. Now we starting to lag in the back with finances. We starting to lag in the back with resources. We starting to lag in the back with crops. We starting to lag in the back with nutrition. We starting to lag in the back with communication. We starting to lag in the back with education. Like we always was like in the forefront when it came to those things in America. But like I said, now we starting to lag in the back because we letting other nations, other countries dictate to us how we need to operate. So if you have more leaders, that won't happen. But we got a lot of followers. Jennifer Thomas, how you doing? I appreciate you, Jennifer. Thanks for tuning in to the live stream. I hope all is well with you. Thanks for chiming in the chat. Let me know that you out there. I really appreciate you. So before I continue, let me speak to you guys in the chat. So how things have been going with you, Jennifer? Same thing with you, Carla. Like if you guys, got any questions, you can let me know. I'll wait. I'll give you guys an opportunity to let me know something. You know what I mean, and let me know what's going on with you guys, how you guys are feeling. But yeah, everything that's beautiful, Jennifer. Again, thanks for tapping in and tuning in. I want to also, Jennifer, I want to thank you for tapping in the times that you have. I don't know what your schedule looking like. I'm willing to make you a moderator, so you could coexist with Carla. I have Carla, I have Queen, and I just gave Sherry. I made her a moderator. She haven't tapped in tonight, but I made her a moderator. So I don't know what your schedule looking like, but you've been tapping in, you've been showing me love. So if you want to be a moderator, I mean, if you don't, I wouldn't take it personal, but I just wanted to put that out there, you know what I mean? Because you do speak when you in the chat, and I appreciate that, you know what I mean? But yeah, so thanks for checking in and tuning in. But yeah, overall, America's just been, we've been lagging in the back, over these last, I'm gonna say maybe 20, 25 years, like, and it's been getting worse and worse, by the day. Like I said, America was in the forefront with a lot. You know what I mean, for our technology, for our science, like I said, for our nutrition, education, finances. Like America, dollar used to be like the top dollar. I'm not sure if America is the value of the dollar is what it used to be in other countries. Like you can go to another country with American money and you'll be on top of the world. I don't think that's like that no more. And now that's something that, because not only the people who run the world, but the people in the world are so caught up in me. And I believe in self preservation, but it's a way to do that. Like, I believe in self preservation, but you could do that without being selfish. You could be selfless, but not selfish. And a lot of times we do things, we just thinking about us. And when you only think about you, other things and other people suffer. So now when you get that mentality, I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna do me, you forget about other things and other people. So like I said, now you put pressure on the next generation to come up. So now, you put pressure on that 14, that 15, that 16-year-old young man or young woman. They feel like they gotta do more than they had to do, because it's like, okay, well, their mother or their father or their aunt or their uncle or their guardian is like, y'all gotta do me. So they grow up with that same perspective. And again, it's a way to do that without being selfish. You could be selfless and do that. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm not gonna think about me. I'm gonna think about everybody else around me. That's why when I do things, I think about everything and everybody else. That's why when I come to my platform, I'm gonna use my platform right now. That's why when I come to my platform, I don't curse, I don't drop N-bombs, and I don't speak about people. I speak to people because I'm so considerate about somebody else. Somebody could be having a bad day, and now they come to my platform, and now they could just say something to me out of having a bad day. And if I get frustrated right back with the person, now I could upset them even more. It's like, but if I stay in my zone, I stay calm, I stay mal mannered, and I stay on my psychological approach, I stay on my mental approach. It's like, you know what? They could be like, you know what, yo, I'm glad I tuned into his live stream. Or I'm glad I watched one of his videos, man. You know what? He gave me a different perspective. I needed that. You know what I mean? Instead of me like, yo, we bringing that to my page. Nah, first of all, I ain't Google. I don't literally own it. Yes, it is mine, but I'm not Google. So, and that's another thing about ownership, that with America, you can't own 100% of nothing. And that's one of the big issues why America is dying, because the people that's in control, the mayors, the governors, the presidents, the vice presidents, the Congress people, they want to control 100% of things that ain't really theirs anyway. Like nobody really owns the country. People run the country, but that's not owning. And that's why I like to separate. I agree. You kind of cool. LOL. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate that. And thank you, Jennifer, for tapping in on that. But yeah, so you could own something, but you can't own 100% of nothing. You can't do that. It's like some people own a house, but they don't own the land. So now, if somebody come take the land back, that means that they could demolish your house because they own the land. So what's more important, the land or the house? So now think like, this is my house, but I don't own the land. That's why a lot of farmers was upset at one point, because they kind of owned the farm but not the land. That's why I said Bill Gates owned the farm and the land. That's important, because now he can dictate to the farmers what to grow, when to grow it, how to grow it. Like, so now it don't matter if I can say I'm a vegan, I'm a vegetarian. It don't matter. Bill Gates control the harvest at the end of the day. And I'm not speaking about him. I'm speaking about the circumstances and the situation. Speaking about him would be talking about his life and what he's doing. No, I'm just speaking about what he owns. And that's important, because that's controlling a mass amount of people. It's going back to what I'm saying, why the country is dying again. Because when you let somebody buy into something, now for the ownership purpose of it, it's like, okay, do Jeff Bezos own Amazon, or do he run Amazon? He owns Amazon. He had people running it, but he owned it. So now he can dictate how packages get shipped to people, when they get shipped to people. Like, that's important, because now if you ordering things online, you got to be intelligent enough to know that Jeff Bezos have a hand in what you possibly may order. You may say, I'm ordering this from Fingerhut, but that don't mean that Amazon people won't pick up your Fingerhut package. See, I think like that, because I understand who running things and who own things. It's a difference. And that's why I said when you separate things, you get to see things more clearly. But when you just like, I know what's going on. Oh, you think you know this, or you think you, I don't think I know more than anybody because I know everybody doesn't know anything. I'm just still studying on what I'm paying attention to. I don't know more than anybody. I'm just paying attention more to other people. See how I could break that down? Some people may say, I know. Well, are you pay? I pay attention. You know what I mean? And that's why America's going broke because they're not paying attention. Because when the congressmen say, well, this is true, people just believe it. When the mayor say this is true, or the president say this is true, or the senator say this is true, it's just like going to the doctor. If you're sick, the doctor say, well, take this, you'll feel good. I ask the doctor, or is what you giving me the prescription making me feel good, the medication, or the combination of you talking to me, catering to my ego, and the medication making me feel good? And the doctors laughed it off and be like, okay, Mr. Wright, I see what you're saying. All right, I got you. Now, I can't guarantee that medication is going to make you feel better, but from what the homework and research I did, from people that come in here that have the same symptoms as you, it may work. And I say to the doctor, well, it may work, but remember, medication, it doesn't, everybody don't take medication the same way. It may have a different side effect on me. It may make Jane Doe or John Doe's stomach hurt. It may give me a headache. You know what I mean? It may get me dizzy, or it may make me hungry, or it may make me tired. And they'd be like, well, that's so true. And I say, well, doc, you know what? Well, why you ain't telling people that? Because since again, they only a doctor, they don't really own that office. They just run in the office because they got paperwork from somebody at a college that said you certified to tell people this, that, and that. It's like when I made music, make me gain weight. Right, it could make you gain weight. That's right, Jennifer. So it's like when I made music, when I learned that record labels told me I could get rich off lying to people, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do that. Like, so you telling me I got to manipulate people, and now you telling me I could get paid? I don't want to do that. And they're like, well, I mean, you're gonna struggle to make it, but you never told me I wasn't gonna make it. You said I'm gonna struggle. Hey, I'll struggle, no problem. But I know when I make it, people gonna sense the sincerity. They're gonna see my authenticity. That's what matters, and that's why America is falling day by day because we don't have no more authentic people. Like it don't matter what Malcolm X or Martin Luther stood for. We felt the authenticity. We felt them organically. We felt what they were saying spiritually. We felt what they were saying psychologically. We got it. You know what I mean? It's like now we don't have that. And I'm not knocking the people that's out there as leaders or as examples, but you can't really tell me you sense their sincerity. So that's why you're like, man, I don't really know about. That's why people call out pastors and deacons and reverends and so on and so forth, because it's like you're not sensing their sincerity at the end of the day. You're not sensing like they really mean that. You're like, oh, do they really mean that? And now we all could do homework and research and be like, man, he was lying. Or man, he wasn't being honest. Or man, he wasn't being sincere. And that don't make them bad people. They just doing what they know. So I got another saying, guys, that I do. You can't always do what you know. You got to know what you're doing. You can't always do what you know. You got to know what you're doing. And that's why this country is plummeting, because everybody is going off what I just said. Everybody, everybody, everybody. That when I say everybody, I don't mean every individual person. I mean the people that's in position now. All they doing is going off what they know. That's it. They're not doing what they know. They're just going off that. Well, I know this. I know this right here. If this happened, I could do this. You know what I mean? I know if I could persuade people to listen to me, I could get votes. But now they're not thinking about what comes when they get the votes. At the end of the day, they're like, okay, now I'm mayor. I got 500,000 people that's going to listen to me. It don't even matter. What I'm going to tell them, I know they're going to listen. I'm a senator. I got 350,000 people that's going to listen to me. That's all that matters. You got to take an accountability with those 350,000 people listening to you. You have to be so organic that they start to not believe you because you're being organic, because you're being natural, because you're being authentic. It's like, man, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? And it may sound funny, but that's what we lacking. That's what we need. When somebody's coming across so sincere, so humble, and so modest, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why people accept the devil, because the devil, it can easily manipulate you. God give us everything, but we accept the devil because the devil always get us with the temptation of what we believe we need to have. That's how the devil get everybody with that temptation of what we think we need to have. But God reel us in with what He know that's best for us. But at times we like to push that away because like, nah, I know that. Nah, I'm good. It's like I could tell somebody, yo, drinking too much soda, you could get diabetes. They'll be like, man, I'm good. Soda tastes good. Knowing they can still get diabetes at the end of the day. It's not about them knowing they can catch diabetes. It's just that soda tastes good. See, I'm thinking about catching the diabetes, not how good the soda tastes. Like, forget how good that soda is or that juice was. I know I could get diabetes. That's realer than how something tastes, or that's realer than my ego or my pride at the end of the day. And now that I possibly could get high cholesterol or high blood pressure. Now I got to deal with somebody telling me what to do. And that's another thing. If we don't like to be told what to do, we don't tell ourselves what to do. That's why I would never give somebody some information that I won't listen to myself. Even with my own kids, I wouldn't tell my kids to do something that I didn't do, I didn't go through, or I didn't experience. So if I have a kid that smoke, I know I was smoking, so I'm not gonna tell my son or my daughter, don't smoke. I'm gonna tell them, yo, you know what's smoking, yo, this is the repercussions that come with that. That's it. But I'm not gonna say, because I know when I was, and I always tell my kids, I know when I was your age, I wasn't really listening to everything grandma or grandpa said, or uncle so and so, aunt so and so. So now it's gonna make me a hypocrite for me to tell you as your father, yo, go to school every day, get your education, man. When I was 17, I was going to school every day. I was cutting school. I was going to grocery store stealing juices and potato chips and all that. Like I was getting with girls having unprotected sex, like staying in their mother house or their father house when their parents was at work. So now as my kids go, now I'm gonna just give them the best advice suitable for that circumstance or for that situation. But I'm not gonna say, yo, you know what, if you don't do this, I ain't gonna do that, because I know what, and I tell my family that. I'd be like, but hold on, Auntie, yo, but when we was that age, how we was on it. And they'd be like, you know what? You're right, yo, you really matured. I'm like, yeah, because you got to understand, like when they 17, 16, 15, 14, 18, 19, think about how we was on it, and the things that we wanted to do, or the things that we was going through. We really didn't want to listen like that. And the more that I do that, the more that my kids reach out to me, the more they be like, you know what, Dad, remember you talked to me 2 months ago? I should listen to you. I'd be like, don't worry about it. You call me today. What's up? What's going on? Instead of me saying, see, you should listen. The old me, before I reformed myself and I really found God, I would attack that and I would attack them. That was selfish in me. See, I'm thinking about what I told them and them not listening, instead of me thinking about them and the fact that when they come to me, be more psychologically, mentally, and spiritually prepared to deal with them. Instead of saying, yo, you don't listen. If it's my daughter, or you acting like your mom's. If it's my son, yo, you don't listen, yo, you hard-headed. Nah, just, you know what? I'm here today. You need me? What's going on? Talk to me. That's it. And they'd be like, you know what, Dad? Yo, I'm glad I was able to talk to you. I'd be like, man, I'm just glad I'm healthy. I'm glad I was healthy for you to be able to come to me and talk to me. Another thing I'm glad for, that you trust that you could come to me and talk to me. Instead of me saying, I ain't got time to do that, because I gotta think back when I was the age though. It don't matter if my parents was great or my parents was effed up. The point was that I gotta think back when I was their age, how I was on it. Like how my mom's like, boy, be here at 11 o'clock. I'm like, man, my mom told me come in at 11 o'clock, man. I ain't doing that. I'd rather go to another person's house just not to listen to my mom's. And it wasn't that I wanted to rebel against my mom's. It was that I wanted to do what I wanted to do. It wasn't that I didn't love my mom's, I didn't want to listen, but I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So now that it's my kids' go, I can't be selfish. I got to be open-minded, and I got to recollect on when I was the age, how I was on it. And right now in America, they're not doing that. They're not recollecting on how Russia wasn't as strong as they are now, how China wasn't as strong as they are now, how whatever other countries was not as strong as America is now. America stopped doing homework and research, all homework and research, researching the things they need to research: medicine, food, money, it's so on and so forth, sports, whatever it was. Like so now this country is not as strong as it should be, because the other countries was able to catch up at the end of the day. And I'm not mad at those countries. I'm not even mad at America. I'm just pointing it out, because for the people that live in America, you can say, man, I ain't worried about this country. You got to. No matter what city and or state you're in, as long as you're in America, you got to worry about it. That's why I do homework and research on the planet, because okay, when the pandemic hit, when things had shut down, I was still able to survive, because I was going off the law of the land. That's how. I wasn't focused on the law of the government or the law of the world, the law of the land. Because before the Constitution was put in place, they was living off what? The law of the land, though. That's what they was living off. I understand that I wasn't around. My forefathers and ancestors was around, but that's how they was living. They was living off the law of the land at the end of the day, though. They wasn't living how we live now. Like, and that's another thing that we got to start understanding. The Constitution is stronger than the law. We think that the law supersedes the Constitution. That's not true. That's not true. The Constitution supersedes the law. That's why a lot of times we see certain people rebelling. They say things like, that's my constitutional right, because they understand that the Constitution supersedes the law. But when you think that the law supersedes the Constitution, that's why people find themselves caught up in various circumstances and situations. So I get that. I understand that. So I never let something override something that I know is beneath at the end of the day. Like I know that. I know that trees and plants give off carbon monoxide so we could breathe quality air. See, I know that. A lot of people might ignore that. Man, we don't really need trees. No, that's why the air quality bad. That's why the weather people tell you about pollen and all that, because they understand that. They had to study to do the research to get it at the end of the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not giving you the forecast because they literally know what the weather going to be. It's a satellite letting them know. And what they got to do, they got to do the homework and the research on that satellite. So now they can say, okay, we're going to give you the weather for the next 7 days. They literally can't see, but they're going off the satellite. And if they don't know how to read the information from the satellite, how they going to give us the weather? So that take time. They got to study. So that's why I do a lot of studying, so I can really learn things, so I can separate things. Like I said about the owning and the running. You could run a corporation. That don't mean that you own it. You know what I mean? So that's why before I run my mouth, now I'm gonna use the word run again. Before I run my mouth, I do homework and research, and I study. So before I say anything to anybody about anything, I'm gonna study it. That's it. You know what I mean? When I was going to school like that, I went to school. I wanted to be a mortician. But my attitude prevented that. My ego prevented that. Allowing people to dictate things to me prevented that. Allowing people to be like, man, yo, you know just as much as that professor. You can't let him tell you about your business. And what? I let my ego and my pride supersede that. That's still a professor. So now my ego and my pride got in the way. I got put out of school. Because why? I didn't want to listen so I could learn. And now what I did, I learned how to listen. You know what I mean? I didn't want to listen so I could learn. So now I had to learn how to listen. So now that I do that, it's all right. I had to learn how to do that. That's not easy. That's why that old saying and going one ear and out the other, because people hear with their ear. I listen with my brain. That's my third eye. So when somebody's talking to me, they have my undivided attention. I don't let nothing distract me. Even if they saying something that's minute, it don't matter. I had to learn how to listen. And that's what get us caught up a lot of times in life, because we didn't learn how to listen. We hear something, and with something that we dislike or something trigger us, now we just relax, just listen. Like, the more I matured and I learned how to listen, and the police would stop me. Like when they had to stop and frisk in certain communities, and the police would jump out on me. They'd be like, yo, where the weapons at? I'd be like, yo, you got a weapon right there on your hip, officer. Here go my ID, though. This is who I am. And they'd be like, yo, you got a smart mouth. I'd be like, nah, you got dumb ears. You wasn't listening. Like, you asking me where the weapon's at. You got one right there. I ain't got nothing. Here go my ID. I'm identifying myself, officer. This is who I am. I ain't got to tell you where I'm going or where I'm coming from. All I got to do is identify myself. And if they had an officer with them that understood that, he'd be like, you know what, give him back his ID, have a good day. But if they had an officer who ego and pride felt attacked, he gonna take that comment further, and now it's gonna lead into something they gotta lead into. I understand he might not like what I said, but I didn't say nothing wrong. He asked me where the weapons was. You got one right there on your hip. I don't have to tell you where I'm going. I don't got to tell you where I'm coming from. I presented my ID. This is who I am, sir. That's it. I don't have to do nothing else. It's nothing when you went to school to become that officer that told you that. It tell you I have to prove who I am. I have to identify myself. That's not a problem. But anything else now, that's your ego and your pride. I'm not gonna allow your ego and your pride to allow me to be less than who I am, a man and an individual. If you want to do that, that's personal. I'm not gonna let nobody personally do anything to me, because God is not personally doing anything to me, but bringing light to me. So that's what I mean by I had to learn how to do things. When you don't know how to do things and you have people in your life that don't know how to do things, then you believe what you're doing is the correct way. That's why I don't knock people, because maybe they've been taught by people who didn't know no better. It's like if I grew up a certain way and my family was like, go to church. That's the only way, you're going to have a close relationship with God. I did that. But once I seen and I learned that I didn't have to go to church to have a close relationship with God, that don't mean that I don't like churches. I don't want to go to church. I don't like pastors. I don't like deacons. I don't like reverends. That don't mean that at all. But nowadays, if I say that, man, I don't need to go to church to get close to God. Well, what happened? What your reverend said to you? What your deacon said to you? What your pastor? And they didn't say anything wrong. It's just I don't have to go to church to get close to God. That's all that is. I don't have to have a religion to be close to God. But I learned that I had my spirit got to be right, because, like I said, I could be a Christian or whatever, or Israelite or Muslim. But if my spirit ain't right, people will be like, man, I don't care that he a Christian or he a Muslim or he a Israel. His spirit is off. And people sense that. It's like babies and old and senior citizens. I'm talking about people older, like in their 80s and all. They sense that when somebody's spirit is off at the end of the day. So now, if my spirit is off, it don't matter what I do or who I am. That's why I believe in who people are and not what they do, because we like to do that a lot. If somebody's an entertainer or athlete or whatever, we look at that. Well, I'm saying, nah, that's Michael Jackson, or nah, that's Beyonce, or nah, that's Jay-Z, or nah, that's LeBron James, or that's Michael Jordan. Okay, that's what they do, but that's not who they are. Like I want to know you for who you are, not what you do. Like that, just because this is my platform, people got to get to know me for who I am, not what I do. So I could come up here all day and preach to the choir, but now when you get to know me on a one-on-one and my personal space and my personal life, and see, well, dad, he's even more laid back than he is when he's on the internet. He really do be doing homework. He really do be doing research. Now you could be like, all right, I see that. Okay, that's just what he do. That's not who he is. This is who he really is at the end of the day. I appreciate what he do, but I respect who he is more than what he do. That's what's going on. But we got out of the realm of doing that. We got out of the realm of understanding that. It sounds like you came a long way to get to who you are now. Yeah, again, though, like I'm thankful, and that's why I appreciate people like you, though, Carla. Like I could say it until the well runs dry, Carla, but you don't really get it. And I'm not saying you don't get it like you don't understand. I'm saying you don't get it like you being there, Jennifer being there, Miss Queen checking in, people checking in. That mean a lot to me, because I'm sparking that brain at the end of the day. It's like I would never I would never marvel over a flower that's growing out of the concrete. Know what I would do? I would make sure that I keep nurturing that flower so it could blossom and flourish more. Instead of just going every day like, yo, look at this flower growing out the concrete. I'm gonna do what I can to make sure that flower will flourish and blossom and bloom to its full capacity. You know what I mean? Because it may turn to a beanstalk instead of me just, being so caught up like, yo, look at this flower growing out of the ground. Like, nah, I ain't one of them type of people. I used to be like that. But I had to understand. That's why I said on my platform, I'm open to have uncomfortable, awkward conversations, because as long as I do that, I'll be better off. I have awkward and unorthodox conversations because I know everybody's not willing to do that. I go like this. People are comfortable with being uncomfortable. The only reason I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's how I'm going to grow and elevate. When I say people are comfortable being uncomfortable, they know they're uncomfortable maybe in a relationship or at a job or with the clothes they have or with the car they have or the community they living in or dealing with certain things and people. Instead of them speaking about it, they get frustrated and speak about it. See, me, I don't do that. See, when I'm uncomfortable about something, I get comfortable because I speak to people about it. I be like, you know what? Like, when things wasn't right with my mom's, I had to be uncomfortable to get comfortable. Like, look, Ma, you know what? I was doing this, this, and this. That was out of character. I apologize. And if you don't accept me until you see me walking that line, I gotta earn that back, Ma. No problem. And she like, I love you for that. Yeah, I think you need to earn that back. And maybe if I would have been the old me, she probably wouldn't even said I gotta earn it back. She probably be like, nah, it's all right. I still love you. But now that I came full circle, she's like, yeah, you gotta earn that back. And I'm like, all right, no problem. It's nothing. And now I'm glad that she's tested my character, my fortitude. So when it comes to someone else, that's not me or her. It could be another family. It could be one of my kids, which is her grandkids. She could come and say, you know what? But I'm saying, I see your father. I seen his character's been tested. Nah, you know what? He wouldn't do that. And now I could have her or somebody else vouch for me and my character. And that becomes important. And that's why a lot of times we go through things, people don't like vouching for people because of their character. So that's why I say who people are means something to me, not what they do. That don't mean nothing to me because what you do ain't who you are. And like I don't mean like nationality either. That's why I say race don't exist to me. Rate all colors equal. That's what race means to me. And that's another thing I'm gonna start bringing to my platform. I'm gonna start breaking down words because every word has various different meanings, but we only go off the meanings that's in the dictionary. That's why I read thesauruses. That's why I read almanacs. You know what I mean? That's why I read the Guinness Book of World Records so I can get different interpretations for different words because words means different things. But if we go off the ocean, just mean a body of water flowing, that's all we're going to think. It goes back to what I said before about it's various different ways to get an answer. So if I say, Carla, what's how you get 10? You may tell me 8 plus 2. Somebody else may tell me 7 plus 3. Somebody else may tell me 6 plus 4. It's various different ways to get answers. But we believe because we only know that one way to get the answer, that's the only answer. No, it's various different ways to come up with answers. And that's why I love doing homework and research so I could get all the answers possible. So when I'm faced with that dilemma, I don't just be stuck on the only thing that I found out or the only thing that I know. Because now I may get into a dilemma because I'm only stuck off what I know and how I know it. And now I'm not being diverse, and I'm not, and I don't know how to prosper in adverse situations because I'm only stuck on the way that I know it at the end of the day. So that's why I said when people say things to me, it's not offensive because I'm learning. It don't have to be them or me. It could be a lack there of something. They may not know how to articulate certain situations, and it may come out in a frustrating way. That don't mean that it frustrated me. They might not even be frustrated. That just might be the way they know how to articulate it. So now that I understand that, I can't say, well, if somebody be like, yo, man, yo, I seen your podcast, man. Yo, you be trying to talk like you're intelligent. I'm like, nah, what I'm doing is I'm learning how to expand on my vocabulary instead of saying, what you mean I'm trying to talk like I'm intelligent? I'm just be like, nah, you know what? I'm trying to learn how to expand my vocabulary. That's all. And they'd be like, yeah, nah, I respect that. Or you know what? I ain't even look at it like that. But now if I went at it the other way, now I would have went a whole nother way. They at me, I'm at them, and it's unnecessary at the end of the day. But now if I decompress and take some steps back and take some steps forward, now me and them could build on a whole different level. And if they continuously be in that way, the way that they are, and I'm still going forward, they might be like, yo, but damn, you know what? He's still moving forward. It's like before I changed up my music, I had to really sit down and talk to God about it. I'm like, yo, I can't be saying in this and in that and H this and B that and I smoke this, I drink that, I got this type of cars, this type of jewelry, la 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 la. So, you know what? I'm gonna switch my music up. And of course, people like, yo, man, nobody want to hear that. I said, see what you're doing? You speaking for people that I don't even know and you don't even know. Like people that heard my music, how I used to sound when I was doing a bunch of N's and H's and B's and cursing and all that. Now, when I switched up, for the people that know that I switched up, like, yo, nobody want to hear that. I said, see, you doing what I used to do. You speaking for everybody. Can you just speak for yourself, please? I would appreciate that. And they're like, what you mean? You said everybody don't want to hear that. I don't know that, and you don't know that. Let's give the world an opportunity and see if they want to hear the music the way that I'm presenting it now. But for you to just speculate and pre-assume that nobody want to hear it because you don't, that's you. Speak for you. Say, yo, I don't want to hear your music like that. You know what I'm gonna say? No problem. I'm not gonna say because you entitled to that. It's like if somebody don't feel like they entertain or they educated or I'm bringing up information to my platform, or it's easy for them to unsubscribe, hit don't recommend and not interested. That's it. They life ain't gonna stop. Their life won't continue. My life won't continue. But for them to come and attack me now, that's how I know that's hatred or it's personal now because now it's like all you gotta do is unsubscribe, don't recommend, and not interested. Look. 3 facts what somebody could do if they're not feeling my platform. Instead of saying, yo, you're a fake philosopher, you're a fake prophet. wow, that's a lot of energy you putting into me. Like you taking energy away from yourself, away from guiding yourself, away from preparing yourself, away from feeding yourself, away from clothing yourself. Whatever it is you could do for you, you taking that energy away from you, putting it on me. You ain't gotta do that. Love yourself more than that. Don't hate on me and not love yourself. And that's another thing. People hurt themselves by hating. Don't do that. Don't hurt yourself by hating on somebody else. Don't do that. Love yourself. How you love yourself is stop giving people unwarranted information. If somebody be like, man, you know what, you think you smarter than everybody else. You know and I know that nobody knows everything. I don't believe I'm smarter than anybody. I just believe that I do homework and research. And with that homework and research, it's helping me preparate myself to deal with and handle circumstances and situations better. That's it. But I know I'm not better than anybody. No, we all unique in our own ways. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to display my uniqueness to the best of my ability and the way that God allows me to. That's all I'm going to do. Like, if people into prophecies or prophets, Moses wasn't no better than nobody else that God put in the Bible, or Muhammad wasn't better than nobody that was in the Quran, and so on and so forth. Is that they was unique in their own ways, and they understood their uniqueness, and they displayed that, and that rubbed other people's shoulders wrong. That's what happened. That's all it is. So I'm unique. So my uniqueness can rub somebody's shoulder the wrong way, but that don't mean that I have a problem with them, because I have a problem with me. I have a problem with me because it's still more I need to learn. It's still more I need to do. That's my issue with myself. Learning how to do more. Learning how to do more homework. Learning how to be more disciplined. So I beat myself up because those are the things that I need to do. But I have a problem with nobody on the face of the earth at all, because nobody's not stopping me from reading books. Nobody not stopping me from being healthy. I can stop me from doing that. So I got to beat myself up. But to allow somebody to do that, we give people power over us by letting them say, man, you dirty, you a bum, your house this, your house that. We all got our own circumstances and situations. Like, I've been homeless. I've had shacks. I've had kitchenettes. But you know what I did? I didn't let somebody come there and get the best of me of whatever I had. I took advantage of that. So if I had somewhere, I'm like, man, I don't like this. Instead of me complaining, moaning and groaning, what I did, I got up off my rear end and kept my place clean. So if I was living somewhere and it was roaches and it was rats or it was mice, I cleaned it up. I didn't worry about what my neighbor didn't do. I didn't say, man, I ain't never get rid of these roaches. My neighbor dirty. That's on them. They control their fate like I control my own. Why I just can't get up and do what I do? Why I got to point the finger at somebody else for what they ain't doing? No, that's weak. I'm not going to be weak when it comes to myself. Like I said, I'm not going to hurt myself hating on somebody else. I'm going to love me. So I'm not going to take love away from me and start hating on somebody else. That's what America has allowed to happen. That's why I said America's dying. And overall now, people were doing that. They taking love away from themselves to hate on other people. They hate on what other people doing, how other people look, how other people dress. You know what I mean? Other people's clothes, other people's shoes, other people's sneakers. Man, let people dress how they want. Let people be what they want. I'm not God, so I can't say this person shouldn't be this person shouldn't be that. That's why, like I said, I don't believe in like race. Like, I believe in culture and heritage. That's relevant, but race, that don't exist to me, because who am I to say that person is orange, yellow, green, black, white? Nah, that means I'm being judgmental. I know when I was born, I was a human being. I know that God created human beings. He didn't create colors. Only reason we see it like that because He blessed us with the sight, with the thing called sight. He blessed us with that. So now that we have sight, we can see in color. So that means when I'm watching the TV got various different colors. So that means that I got a racist TV because my TV can show me yellow, green, black, orange, brown. No, that don't mean that. That mean that if I pick up a football and it's brown, what that mean? I pick up a basketball, it's orange or it's purple. It doesn't mean nothing. It's just an instrument or tool for me to use for entertainment or for education. That's it. But if I look at it the way that it's presented by everybody else, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bite the bait. So if they say that person is green, I'm like, okay. So what if a person don't look black or white and they look green? Now what I'm gonna say? Oh, the green people? Nah, like I am a human being. That's it. Now, if I could keep spreading that human being, somebody gonna say, you know what? You're right. I'm just a person, man. I ain't even like that. I'm a person. That's it. And I want to be treated and respected as such. But when people do that, oh well, this person is there, this race baiting and all. You got to feed into it. If you don't feed into it, how's it gonna happen? Like it don't it don't. Money is green at the end of the day. So how come everybody that look differently out to get money? Like, so it's like that. It's like money's green. But when you start doing it, this person, that, nah, man, I'm a human being, and I look at people as such and as so. It's people that subscribe to my platform that don't look like me and don't look like another culture. What that means? That it means that, and I appreciate their support. But that's how I'm taking it. It's just support. That's it. But I'm not looking at like, well, I got this culture of people subscribe to my platform or this national. Man, nah, man, I'm stronger than that. I'm more intelligent than that, and God loves everybody equally. You know what I mean? Again, everybody's unique in their own way, though. Just because God loves everybody, everybody's still unique in their own way. Some people don't want to accept their own uniqueness because they're allowing somebody to dictate something to them about their own uniqueness at the end of the day. Like that. So if you're uncomfortable with your hair, style it the way that you like. You don't gotta say, you know what, I'm gonna get a wig to make my, nah. It's like me. I'm short. So I'm not gonna let somebody say, man, yo, you short, man. If you was taller, man, this is what I'm blessed with. I'm thankful. That's it. Like I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I don't look at things how other people do because I'm thankful, man, with what God blessed me with. And that's why I appreciate God. The more and more that I grow and I elevate, I'm thankful what God has blessed me with. Anything else don't mean nothing. It means absolutely nothing. And when you get sidetracked by worrying about things that don't mean nothing, now you want to know how you get taken for a loop because you got sidetracked. Just stay focused, stay looking straight ahead, and stay focused on the goal and initiative at hand. Anything else means nothing. It means nothing. It's easy to follow because all you're trying to do is fit in. I'm a leader. I'm going to always stand out. It's not easy to be a leader. It's not easy to do that. It's easy to follow. You're going to follow what everybody else does. I just put up a short, I would say maybe yesterday or a day ago. It's like on TikTok. Where's the positive TikTok challenges? Where that's at? Where that's at? Like, and again, I'm not mad at the people on TikTok. I'm saying, but on TikTok, it's where's the positive challenges at? Like, we need that. We need that. We need positive challenges. Come out with a respect your mother challenge on TikTok. Come out with a listen to your father challenge on TikTok. You know what I mean? Come out with a respect your teacher on TikTok. Come out with a don't miss no days in school challenge on TikTok. Like, come out with a perfect attendance challenge on TikTok. You know what I mean? Things like that. Like that can happen. But when you feeding into what everybody else says and does, that don't even enter your mind. It's just like, nah, if I do that, and people gonna clown me, or people gonna make fun of me, or people gonna say this. So people gonna say things when you do things negative. People gonna talk whether you're doing right or wrong, or whether you're being positive or negative. People gonna talk. However, I prefer people to talk, and I'm doing the right thing, let alone what's best for me at the end of the day. But to have people talking and I ain't doing that, it's like I'm just taking up space now, and I ain't got time to do that. I ain't in a galaxy. I ain't a planet. I'm a person. So if you just want to take up space, you're gonna be a part of the galaxy, and that's what a lot of people like to do, like take up space, like, you know what I mean. And when you start doing that, like you start to feel worthless. You start to feel like you ain't doing nothing. So now you start to do what everybody else does. You know what I mean? And you got to do what you was meant to do. I get it, and I understand everybody might not know their purpose. So that's why you got to work on it. It's like everything I do is for a purpose and for reasoning. I don't just do things to do things. I don't just go outside to go outside. I have to have a reason. I have to have a purpose. You know what I mean? When I do my live stream, it's a reason. It's a purpose. I'm not just doing it. It's like, man, no way, man. I'm trying to get monetized. Man, I need more subscribers. Man, I need more likes. Nah, that's not true. I'm not doing it for that. It's a reason I'm doing these live streams. You know what I mean? It's a reason I got the videos I got. It's a reason I put up shorts because, again, I'm looking to reach out to people, you know what I mean, and help people out to the best of my ability. I don't care if I help one person. That means something to me. That really means something to me. I can help 1,000 people or 100 people. I can help one person. So it don't matter where my platform goes. This is what I do in my real life. In my real life, this is what I do. So I'm not worried about that. People, like I said, people gonna speak whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm focused at the goal at hand and God give me strength and power, I'm thankful for that. You know what I mean? That's why another video I made called Life, Strength, and Breath. Like, as long as I got life, I got strength, I got breath, I'm thankful. But I don't have to be caught up and worrying about anything or nothing else, man. And that's what's holding us back, and that's what's holding this country and this nation back, because that's all we do. It's easy for us to say, man, you heard what such and such did? Nah, I heard what I did. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. I can't be worrying about such and such, because such and such got their own life anyway. So it's, whether they like me, love me, or hate me, that's not going to certify they're going to listen. I got plenty of people who love me. That don't mean they're going to listen to me. And I know the people who hating on me ain't going to listen. So what would be my point? I got people that love me, but that don't mean they're going to listen to me, though. That don't mean they're going to take my advice. That don't mean they're going to do what I suggest for them to do. So once I understand that, I got to listen to me. I got to take my own advice. That's why I say I would never give somebody advice that I wouldn't take myself. That's what's important to me. But for me to worry about, okay, well, that's my son, or that's my daughter, or that's my sister, or that's my brother. Oh, brother don't listen to me. He don't have to. I got to listen to God. So why am I worrying about who ain't listening to me? As long as I'm listening to God, why does it even matter? Like, it doesn't even matter. But this country, that's where we at now. The people that have the power, and some people, or somebody makes this live stream and say it been like that. I'm not saying it haven't, but it's totally out of control, where it's no perspective, it's no precedent being set. It's no structure there. It's no stability there. So like I said, if it's a mayor, if it's a congressman, if it's a governor, whatever, the people just got the power for their own reason, their own purposes. It's not how it used to be. I'm saying it was mayors that, even if they was corrupt, we didn't know they was corrupt. Like they was quiet with their corruption. Now people just on the up and up with being corrupt. People on the up and up with not caring about other people dying, other people health, other people starving, and they're in position to make sure them people can eat, or they're in position to make sure them people get medication, or they're in position to make sure them people get to a doctor, or they're in position to make sure the people get placed in the right circumstances, situation if they older, so on and so forth. Like they're in position to make sure the hospital get ran right. They're in position to make sure the kids get educated correctly. They ain't worrying about that. They're like, man, they ain't benefit me. That ain't my bottom line. And I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying this is why the country is plummeting, because at the end of the day, everybody's out for themselves. And when people do this a lot, man, I'm doing what I want. Man, I'm saying what I want. I don't never knock that. The funny thing to me about that is why when the roles reverse, people get so upset. Like people are comfortable with saying, I'm gonna do what I want. So why when somebody else do what they want, people criticize them? That's confusing to me. That's why I do what God tells me to do. Now, if people want to argue with God, I definitely ain't gonna say nothing. I just know I'm not. At the end of the day, that's why I said I'd rather feel the wrath of society before I feel the wrath of God. So if somebody want to attack me, that would be the wrath of a person, and that would be the wrath and/or of society. I could eat that, but what I can't eat and what I can't accept is feeling the wrath of God. Because when God wrath come down, I pray that He's merciful on my soul. That's a fact. So I don't have to be caught up and worried about, oh well, this person said that. So I just know when God showed me the purpose and the reason why God do what God do, I'm thankful for that, man. Like I'm thankful for that. So I don't have to get caught up in nothing else. And that's what has happened, and that's what's going to continue to happen, and that's what's going on with this country right now. This country is so overwhelmed and so caught up, and everybody got the juice now. Like, okay, I got the power. This is what I'm gonna do with my power. I ain't worrying about nothing else. And then when the power plug get pulled, they're like, well, why they pull my power? I mean, hey, you know what? You got to understand that your power plug could get pulled, and you got to be ready. You got to be ready to recharge your own battery, and that's through God. Like you can't do everything on your own. God got to help you through certain steps, and people are put in place to do that. But we ignore the signs and we ignore the people at times. That's why I'm thankful for my moderators. I'm thankful for people who chime in on my platform. I'm thankful for people who have subscribed, because that's God showing me, look, I got people who will listen. I got people who want to help you. All you got to do, go the right way, stay on your course, and don't let nothing distract you. Don't worry about the sideline. So that means, when people come in and on your channel, on your platform, or people in real life try to speak down on you, keep going straight. I put them people in place as well to see if you're going to stay as strong as you know you are, or you're going to stay as strong as you convicted me you're going to be. That's it. I have to see if you're willing to prevail through this adversity. I'm gonna see if you're gonna prosper. And every time it happens, I thank the Lord. I'll be like, thank you for that, Lord. I appreciate that. Because if anybody knows my heart, you do. So even if my kids don't know, my mom's, my father, my spouse, if someone's, it doesn't even matter. As long as God knows my heart. And if those people don't think I'm being modest and sincere, no problem. I know I'm gonna stay the course though, and I'm not gonna get distracted, and I'm not gonna let nothing distract me at the end of the day. So, I'm not gonna shut it down, but what I'm gonna do is though, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna thank everybody who chimed in to the live stream. So I wanna thank my moderator. I wanna thank Carla. I wanna thank Miss Queen for tapping in and checking in. I wanna thank Catrice. I wanna thank HBIC Room Shaker. I wanna thank Peanut. I wanna thank Mano TV. Uh, who else? I want to thank Jennifer. I just want to thank I want to thank everybody for who have checked in. And I know, and let me do this before I shut it down. I know some of you guys, maybe like where I've been. I just been relaxing my body, relaxing my mind. You know, I just been detoxing my body. You know what I mean? And I need myself to understand that whether my page is monetized or not, that, I don't really have to be on the internet. This is a part of what I realistically do in my real life. You know what I mean? And, I'm starting to build up things in my real life in reference to people emailing me now and, dealing with a lot more people. And now I'm starting to build up my clients. You know what I mean? And that's what I needed. But I also do that for some of my clients that's not gonna subscribe or didn't subscribe, and they tell me, yo, Dr. Wright, I'm not gonna subscribe, but I'll view your live stream or I'll view your pre-recorded videos. You know what I mean? And I get why they're not gonna subscribe, or I get why if they are subscribed, they're not gonna say anything because they may want to remain anonymous. You know what I mean? Because they don't want people now if they do whatever they do, they don't want people in their business, or they don't want people like, who is this? And I never seen this person before. Now they probably want to, be nosy, and I get that. And I respect that. And some people don't want other people to know that they reaching out. Some people don't want people to know that they talking to me. Just to speak to me. And everything I do is not just around people needing mental or psychological or spiritual help. Some people, I'm also a life coach. Some people just want my advice about things. Some people want my suggestions about things. You know what I mean? And some people want to ask me certain questions about, well, if you in this situation, what would you do? Or how you handle this situation. So I'm learning at the end of the day, there's various different ways that I help people. So for the people that is on the internet, they need to understand whether they like, love, or hate my platform. It's people that's not gonna subscribe, that didn't subscribe, that view my platform. It's people that is subscribed, that's never gonna say one word. You know what I mean? And they already let me know that, like, yo, I'm not gonna say nothing, but I'm gonna like the video. Or, I subscribe, and when you go live, if I catch it, whether that's live or on the playback, I'm still not gonna say nothing. But I'm gonna listen to the information. I'm gonna listen to the education. I'm gonna take what I can from the live stream. I'm gonna share it with my mom, or with my dad, or with my son, or with my wife, or with my husband, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean? And as always, I'm very much appreciative for my moderators, and for my moderators, Carla, because she's the one here still right now. That's why I do want to get my page and my channel monetized so I could do a lot more for my moderators, because they're very loyal and they're very dedicated. And what they do is unmatched. Because without them, I wouldn't do these live streams as long as I'm doing for, and I wouldn't be motivated to go live. So my moderators, again, once I get my channel monetized, I'm gonna be doing a lot more things. I'm gonna set up the PO box. I'm gonna coexist a lot more with my moderators. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be doing things for them. I don't have to express and expand on that, but I'm gonna be doing a lot more things with them and a lot more things for them. Because without them, I wouldn't be as motivated as I am to keep going, because they keep me motivated by being in the chat, by commenting back, by bringing that sense of humor, by bringing that balance. You know what I mean? By having patience, sitting through my live streams, by having patience, by understanding a lot of my content, a lot of my concepts. That's very important at the end of the day. So whether they give me an hour, 2 hours, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whether they comment on a short, whatever that is priceless. Why? Because they're taking time out of their lives to spend time with me. So that's why I try to make it as hospitable as possible. And if they want to ask me anything or they want to say anything, I read their comments back. And for a lot of newer people that check in and chime in, I understand that you may have subscribed and you may want me to promote or you may want me to help push your channel. I'm not saying I'm not gonna do that and I won't do that. However, I'm still building up my platform. And once I get my platform where I need it to be, I don't mind doing that. But right now, I got a lot of messages I got to push out there, and I have to get my community and my core community intact first. And once I do that, and I know that these are my core people and my regulars and my A1 day ones, I don't mind doing that. Yeah, no, I'm saying, in regards to that, and thank you for saying it, I'm gonna read it one more time. Right. No, I mean, I appreciate you for that. Now, but what I'm saying by that is that sometimes because people do what they do on the internet, it's like sometimes it could be confused. Like because some people may say, well, he's just doing that on the internet. I wouldn't never email him or I wouldn't never take him up. And that's fine. But I'm saying it's people that actually view my content and they take the information from it. And when I speak to them on a one-on-one, whether that's via email or via text messages, because I have like a phone where people just text me, like and be like, "Yo, how you doing? How you feel?" Right, right, right. Like, so some people could text me, for example, call and say, "Well, yo, I'm going through this. What would you do?" And I'd be like, "Well, do you want my advice for help or do you just want my advice?" And they'd be like, "Nah, this just for this just for your advice." I'd be like, "All right," and I just give them a piece of information and it's over. They'd be like, "Nah, I really need to speak to you," and I'd be like, "Yo, you need to book a session or you just need to speak to me," and they'll specify. Nah, not right now. I ain't got time to book a session, but I'm saying if you can you give me some advice or what would you suggest? And I give them enough where I don't give them too much, where it's like, okay, they still can book a session. Or I give them enough where they be like, all right, you know what? Off that you gave me, I'm gonna make sure I go through a similar or another situation. I'll book a session. I'd be like, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Or sometimes people will just reach out and be like, yo, what's the good word? And I'd be like, yo, this is what it is. It's Tuesday, it's Thinking Tuesday, or it's Worry Free Wednesday, or it's Free Friday, or it's Friendly Friday, or it's Strong Saturday. You know what I mean? It's Stay Committed Sunday. It's like I do things like that. Like so they be like, I appreciate that. So you know what? On Sunday, you're right. I'm gonna stay strong. On Saturday, I'm gonna stay committed. On Thursday, I'm gonna be thinking. On Tuesday, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? On Monday, I'm gonna, what I mean? It's like that. It's like Mindful Monday. It's like so if Monday is an M, I give them something with an M. Tuesday is with a T, I give them something with a T. Wednesday, I give them something with a W. Thursday, Friday, like that. Like I try to do that. People be like, "Oh, all right, I appreciate that." So even if they're not booking a session, or even if they don't want no necessary information or education, I still try to give them something so we can stay connected at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And sometimes calling people will reach out and be like, "Yo, I'm going through this with my moms. What you think?" I'd be like, "Yo, it's still your mom's, man. Yo, she love you. You know what I mean? She might not have known, when she came up, she probably was taught that from your grandmoms or from your grandfather, but that don't mean that she don't love you, or that don't mean that she ignorant, or that don't mean that. And they'd be like, you know what? I ain't look at it like that. You right. Yo, you know what? I'm going to speak to my moms. And they'd be like, yo, you know what? I'm glad you told me that I spoke to my moms, man, and that helped us. I'd be like, see, that's what I'm saying. And they'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna work on my patience. I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna work on that. I'd be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Don't try it for me. Don't even try it for you. Just try it. Like I tell people give me information. People that know what I'm doing, people reach out to me. People be like, yo, you know what? If you go to the library and get this book, that'll help you with that. Yo, I got a cousin that go to this college. You know what? I'm gonna reach out to them. I'm gonna see if, you know what, I might give them your number. So if you get a text from somebody you don't know, they may just text you and text you with some quotes. They may text you with some information. I'd be like, yo, I appreciate that, man. What I gotta do? They'd be like, nah, I'm just doing that for you because you do the right thing. So the same way I give it, I look to receive it as well from people that reach out to other people that that give me things. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always information. Sometimes people give me food, or people give me clothes, or whatever it is. Like people give me their time. Like it ain't just got to be based off education and information. People give me their like I can see one of my neighbors. They could be like, yo, how you doing today? How you feeling? And they'll give me 5 minutes out their time. Yo, you stay blessed. You stay good. You do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? I know you work out. Hey, go weight. Or do this or do that. And I take that. Be like, what, I appreciate that. Thanks a million. You know what I mean? So it's various different ways. Calling that people. Excuse me. It's various different ways that people give me information and people reach out to me, and I'm just thankful for that. So for me, being on the internet is just a part of my portfolio. Like people, me having extra things to do. So when I say, yo, you know what, if you want some free information right now, because my platform is not monetized, I got a podcast I do called Final Say TV. You know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, you do? I appreciate that, yo. And now they'd be like, yo, I'm gonna subscribe. Or now I ain't gonna subscribe, but I'm gonna check it out. Or you know what? I'm gonna subscribe. I ain't gonna never leave no comments, but I'm gonna view certain videos. When I talk to you on one-on-one, I'm gonna try to get more information about whatever that video was about or whatever that live stream was about. Same thing with the music. Now that I re-uploaded my music, I'm starting to get other people to check out my platform. It's like, you know what, yo, I ain't gonna subscribe, but you know what, I still got some connections in the industry. I'm gonna see what I could do for you. And it's like, all right, cool, no problem. And they be like, you know what, I might could get you some gigs that might be free for now, but you know what, yo, if you got time, come out. And I'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna see what I could do. You know what I mean? So it's just like that. Just because I got my music back out there, I mean, I might have to do shows for free for a year, 6 months, and I'm all for that because again, I'm getting my message out there. I'm getting people to hear my music. I'm getting people to check out my podcast. So I got to crawl before I walk. And if I got to take baby steps for another 2 years, as long as I'm healthy and I'm blessed, I do that. If I got to take baby steps for another 4 years, as long as I'm healthy and blessed, I'm gonna do that. But I'm not rushing for my platform to be monetized. I don't put pressure on people to subscribe to my platform. I don't put pressure on people to hit the like button. I mean, I tell them to do it because I understand how the algorithms work, but I'm not like, yo, you better hit the nah. I don't care. Like people don't have to like what I do. You know what I mean? I just want people to understand that it's there for information and education. That's it. You know what I mean? And I never know who's watching me and who I could teach. Like before I go, because I want to go to the 2 hour mark anyway, Carla. But before I go, let me say this. Before I do my outro and everything, I had some videos that I put up, and then I started doing live stream. Somebody that I never could think of told me, yo, I seen your podcast. Yo, keep doing your thing. I respect it. You did a video about this, and that. Yo, you taught me something. I'm like, wow, I didn't even think that person would even pay my podcast attention, would even pay attention to what I'm doing. But they was. And I appreciated that. And it was like, yo, keep doing what you do. Like, you know what? Yo, thanks for that. They're like, nah, I mean that, man. Like, don't let nobody discourage you. Keep doing what you do. And I was shocked that that person even thought about looking at anything that I did. And I never told them about my podcast. Somebody probably told them, or they found out about it. I didn't even ask that. I'm just like, yo, thanks. I appreciate that. I was like, yo, you found out about my podcast? Or who told you? That's another thing I don't do. However people find out about me, I'm thankful for that. You know what I mean? And whoever tells people about me, that's why when I do my intro, I say, thanks for everybody who share, who like, who give me any shout out. That's why I always do that at the end of the day, because I don't know the impact or who I can have an impact on at the end of the day. And I don't take that slightly or lightly. Like you one of my moderators. I don't know after you see my live streams or you see a video where I don't know who you telling. So that's why I got to keep this going. I got to keep the positivity. I got to keep the productivity because I wouldn't want you to tell somebody about me. And then they tune in like, yo, he mad negative or he always cursing. Who is this? And they may not want to hear that at the end of the day. So I got to be mindful of that. Same thing with my music. I want my music to be similar as my podcast. I don't want my podcast to be like this. The people in my music, I'm cursing all the time. I'm saying a bunch of M bombs and I'm degrading women and then I'm sending a bad president for these kids and so on and so forth. So it's like if my music, of course, is my podcast, or my podcast, of course, is my music, I'm good. Like now, if you don't want to support my podcast, like, you know what, yeah, I like his music, or I don't really like his music, but I like his podcast. So at the end of the day, it's like, and if like my videos are too overwhelming, you know what, I'm show him love. I like his shorts. So whatever it may be, and somebody, and that's another thing. Somebody gave me information about how to do shorts because I had a page doing that. But now somebody like, yo, this is how you do shorts. And instead of me like, yo, don't be telling me, I'm like, yo, I really appreciate that. And what did I do? I showed them that I was listening and I started creating shorts. And then I sent them a link. I was like, look, is this how it works? And they was like, yeah, that's how you do it. And now I do shorts. And now that person, now I thank them as much as I can for telling me how to go about doing shorts. If I was so caught up in me doing what I wanted to do, I'd be like, man, I ain't worried about that. I took their advice. They didn't have to give me advice. They seen something in me and my platform. And again, they don't always leave comments. They never even chimed in on none of my live streams, but I know they watched them because they told me. So it's like that. It's like various different ways that I'm learning how to operate, how to do things. You know what I mean? And as always, Carla, I really, really appreciate you. If nobody in the world and on the planet do, I do. I appreciate your time, your effort, and your energy because it's priceless. You know what I mean? And it's what I need. It keeps me going. You know what I mean? Outside of the people and or the persons that I have helping me, behind the scenes with what I do, before I do my live streams and my pre-recorded videos, and how that person or those people help me by having me in a safe, structured environment. How they help me by having me in a stable environment as far as where I'm living at, where I'm at, making sure I eat good, making sure I get enough rest, making sure I take care of myself, making sure I don't get out of character, making sure I display tolerance, patience, respect. You know what I mean? And I allowed them to check me. I allowed them to let me know, you out of pocket, you out of control, you don't talk like that. What's wrong with you? Like I allowed them to do that instead of saying, don't be telling me about me. You're not. I let them do that. And with them doing that, they more comfortable now with telling me about me. Like, yo, nah, you ain't got to do like that. You ain't got to be like that. And they more comfortable with doing things with me, let alone from me. And the more I do that, the more people get more comfortable with doing things with me, let alone from me. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. And I prefer people to do things with me, but I'm learning the more comfortable people get, people going to do things for me. And that's through the grace of God. And you're one of them. You know what I mean? And I know we only have an internet relationship, but to me, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about by being organic. And I still feel up to this day, if you feel like I was organic, you probably would have unsubscribed. You'd be like, man, I'm good. So whatever I'm doing, I want to keep that going, but I want to raise the levels with the vibrations with that. So that's very important to me. At the end of the day, not only with you, with Frank, anybody else that I make a moderator. And last but not least, the reason why I'm looking to make people like yourself and other people moderators is because I need people to be more comfortable. So when they want to speak to me or they want to say something or ask questions, I don't need them to feel like I want to ask him that. He may feel offended or he may take that personal. It's like, nah, I can ask him whatever. It's not, no, I can say whatever. And it's not whatever, like they're going to say something stupid, they're going to say something negative, or they're going to say something wrong. It's just being comfortable. It's like I said, that era we grew up in with, speaking our mind, speaking freely without like somebody like, yo, I'm offended. That's hate speech. Yo, we're going to cancel you. It's like, come on. Like at the end of the day, nobody got no time for that. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and chiming in. There's been another live episode of Final Sam, your host and enlightened one, highly gifted Dr. Wright. I want to thank everybody again for who tuned in, who chimed in the live chat. You know what I mean? I want to thank to my moderator, and she be holding it down a lot lately by herself, which is Carla Queen. We miss you. We love you. Same thing with you, Frank. Sherry, whenever you do get opportunity to tap in and tune in, you're a moderator now. And anybody that comes in, Carla, you could recommend anybody you feel like, that would help us out, reference to be a moderator. And the more I upgrade and I get more subscribers, I can make you a community moderator as well. So I'm gonna do that right now. You're just a regular moderator, but I'm gonna upgrade that to community moderator. You know what I mean? Thank you. Mm. Oh, nah, I appreciate that. Like, nah, I appreciate that. Nah, that's not an issue. That's not a problem. So yeah, it's been another live episode of Final Say. I'm your host, Live on Dr. Right, meaning direct results, not display righteousness. So again, for anybody that have tuned in and you watch the playback, thanks for watching playback. If you can, hit the like button. Try to watch the playback all the way through if you can. And I got a lot of shorts up there now. So community mod is like people who have like bigger YouTube platforms. Like you could you could time people out. Um, you know, you could like put your cash app in there, whatever your business is, like we could actually promote that. And now once I make you community mod, like you'll get paid when I get paid. So when I upgrade my status quo, like when I get members, okay, you could be a member, but now I can make you an exclusive member where it's like, okay, now I could get with you and I can say, yo, Carl, do you think I need to put this out regular, or we just share this with the members? And now you could tell me, nah, just share that with the members. Or now you could just put that out. So now I can make you a community mod where I could even step that up now. And it's like now me and you could talk on a one-on-one, and now we could decide what needs to be done with a lot of the content at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So like that. So like I said, I'm doing a lot more homework and research, learning how this YouTube thing work. So that's important to me, and I definitely got you. With my platform, bro, to that level. So like I said, when I start getting paid, and I could be like, all right, yo, I could get your personal information, Cash App, PayPal, whatever that is, and now I could say, you know what, Carla, yo, you'll be getting sent this every 2 weeks because now you're community mod. So now you're part of my platform, and you're part of my community platform. Like you're already a part of my platform, but once you become a part of my community, you'll be a member, and you have say so in reference to the members. It's like, yo, such and such was saying such and such. Yo, you know what? Yo, we gonna time them out for a little bit, or yo, we gonna block them, or we gonna freeze them. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like before I go live, you could be already in the chat talking to everybody. Like, okay, yo, this person, yo, I'm gonna make you a regular moderator for now, like because now you're gonna have access. You could give out wrenches as well. Like it's like that. So that's what a community mod is. Like you'll be a part of that. So now it's like, okay, it's like I could see somebody with a wrench. I could be like, okay, Carla probably did that, or Frank probably did that. Instead of asking you, how do you get a wrench? I know you have access to do that, so you'll be able to do that. So that's what a community mod is able to do. You know what I mean? So again, I want to thank everybody who tuned in, who tapped in, and I definitely, will be back doing my lives. I just wanted to relax for a little bit and give people an opportunity to do whatever they do and enjoy their life and enjoy their family. I'm here to assist. Yeah, nah, and you're doing a tremendous job. Trust me. I just want everybody to understand that with these live streams, I'm thankful I'm here. You know what I mean? And again, to everybody, but if I don't, I definitely will be back next Saturday. You know what I mean? And I enjoyed this, and everybody have a safe, stress-free week ahead. The weather is breaking, the weather is changing, so be careful. Always watch your surroundings. Keep your head up, keep God first, and stay positive and stay productive. And everybody out there, stay safe. Peace, world.